This is the side of Mount St. Helens blowing out 45 years ago. And this is where we think the next eruption will happen, which will be in our lifetime, by the way. But it's not going to play out the way you might think. Here's what we know and why we're so confident it will happen. So first of all, the when. Mount St. Helens is an active, explosive, regularly scheduled volcano. It's erupted more than any other in the continental U.S. over the past few centuries. And volcanoes like this tend to blow about once every 30 to 100 years. Yep, we're getting into that window. But here's the thing. These eruptions don't come out of nowhere. Scientists will see it coming.
Kind of highlighted that these things don't necessarily occur out of the blue, because there had been this swarm of earthquakes around the volcano that indicated that molten magma was moving up the throat of the volcano. And the other thing that was kind of ominous was the volcano was swelling. I think, at that point they issued an evacuation.
That was 1980. But Mount St. Helens is still very much alive. Just last June, there was another spike in earthquake activity. Magma started moving again. It didn't reach the surface, but scientists call this a recharging event, a sign that the system is priming itself. So yes, it will erupt again, and yes, we will get warning signs. But here's why the next eruption won't look like 1980. That one didn't blow straight up. It blew sideways. Why? Because the mountain's flank had been weakened by a large body of molten rock inside. Eventually, that slope gave way. A landslide triggered a rapid pressure drop, and the magma exploded out the side in what's called a lateral blast. That sideways eruption is what caught people off guard. Today, that slope is gone. In its place, a deep crater. And that crater acts like a pressure valve. If magma builds up again, it's more likely to vent upward or into the crater instead of pushing through a plugged, unstable slope. But don't get too comfortable. An eruption straight up doesn't necessarily mean it's safer.
Damage and death is difficult to predict, but you can use the form of the volcano to kind of give you some idea. And the earthquakes now can be located so precisely with the seismic monitoring equipment that you can kind of even track how that magma is moving up through the throat in more detail than was possible in 1980.
So 45 years later, we're not only expecting another eruption, we have better tools, better models, and a better sense of timing. But the force of nature, that's still very real.
I remember very vividly, I was assembling a group for a geological field trip, actually. It was in Vancouver. As we were assembling, this was about 8 a.m., there was this huge, what sounded to me like an explosion. It was a sound wave from the eruption as it turned out, from the volcano, and it echoed off the North Shore Mountains. It was it could have been a ship exploding in the harbor, but it was actually the eruption of Mount St. Helens, as a sound wave just jetted through the city. It was totally remarkable.